So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our conjunction through house series video. And today we're going to be discussing Sun Rahu in the 8th house, as in what happens when Sun and Rahu are conjunct in the 8th house of your horoscope. And as always, if you do not know if you have this particular position, what sign it's in, what nakshatra it's in, all other astrological details, but check out the links here. Check out my full astrological reporting, my books, consultations, a link to my academy, Vedic Astrology Academy, where I'm currently teaching Mahadasha course. Now, Sun and Rahu in the 8th house. So, there are a lot of aspects to this conjunction. Some of them cannot be discussed until we know the sign and the nakshatra placement. Because, as you guys know, Rahu will not necessarily just behave as if it's sitting in the 8th house. Rahu will truly behave where the dispositor is placed, where the nakshatra lord is placed. Sun, on the other hand, will give an actual results in the 8th house. So one thing we see here is that naturally there will be a lot of disputes, a lot of ego issues between the married couple. And this will be due to the fact that the spouse may feel their ego hurt by either their spouse and their family. Like the image of this native will be known as somebody who's kind of like maybe like a bit of a trickster, somebody who's very clever, somebody who you have to watch out for, even though there may not be. But that's the image they will give to the spouse's family. Yet, on the other hand, such people are masters of dealing with other people's assets, gaining through, financial, I wouldn't say support, but investments of other people. Like when they try to do a business, they actually gain by other people coming in and putting money into their business. This is also an actual place that can give government loans. So those things are like government loans. One can get support through that. Now, on the other hand, we also see that a person will always reject their bosses. No matter how good or how bad the bosses are, they will always feel like they need to be in the position of the boss, because they will always feel inferior in their workspace, even if everything is going well. And yet, if they're like an employee, not in a head position, they will always feel dissatisfied in their workspace. Then you will also see with Sun Rahu that usually a person always will have some hidden romantic relationship that the family would not know. And this could be, let's say, before marriage. This could be with the person that they married to. They would have had to keep that romantic relationship really in a secret place. And the other thing, that this is actually a position where a person has the smarts, the intelligence to gain through speculation. Like I actually know certain people with this who have the knowledge of the markets, whether it's like stock market or now crypto market. And Sun Rahu is actually one of the positions where, like I said, a person can get support through government, but these people can also be in the government, like especially in terms of political positions. And in private life, they're the ones who can gain lead in political, or you can say inside politics of a workspace, inside politics of family, inside politics of friends. Yet they're very secretive about their moves. They don't just actually sometimes they don't tell anybody what their next move is. Their move is always done in secrecy. And you will see this person will come out as probably extremely humble. Yet in secret, they will have a very strong inflated ego. that they will not share outside. Only a few people who get to be in their internal circles, and they kind of like spend time with this person, they will realize that this person has that ego. Also, health wise, definitely there could be some issue depending upon the sign and nakshatra. And in order to discuss those things, I can't just say, well, this is what this person's going to deal with until we see that. So I don't want to just say something and then somebody's like, oh my God, could I deal with this? Not necessarily, no. So this is why it becomes very peculiar to advise on, whenever a Rahu or Ketu are conjunct, to explain exactly all the details of it. But one thing we see, usually a person or certain people may have, let's say, children through IVF. And it also shows after the birth of the first child, joint assets increase. And the other thing we also see is that whenever a person gets a job, whenever you get a job, your status rises. Because let's say if you don't have a job, it's kind of like in society is known as a zero status. So even if you get like a minimum paying job, it is an elevation of a certain status. When the elevation of that certain status happens, you will see that these people will start to gain or have sudden interest in investing. Whenever some higher status or level comes in, suddenly their mind becomes, it's like if their mind is supposed to go from 0 to 100, or let's say 0 to 16, max level. Each time they get an elevation, they get closer to that 16th mark. Like their intelligence increases anytime a elevation in status happens. Now, one thing I have seen with this is that Jupiter's aspect upon this conjunction can actually make a person go into a yogic life. And this, let's say if this happens after a person is married and after, they have children, and let's say Dasha of the Sun or Jupiter comes into play, then they simply become the householder who wants to pursue a spiritual life. But with Jupiter aspect, I've seen. Okay. But overall, though, this is a conjunction that really will show absolute, pinpointed results with just even knowing of the dispositor. And you will see that once you know the dispositor and the nakshatra lord, then you can say, okay, you will be cheated by this person. You will be cheated by this person because when this person borrows money from you, you will not get it back. And that will have to be seen through the sign and dispositor. Okay. So anyway, guys, this is my analysis of Sun Rahu conjunction in the 8th house. And as always, if you do not know, if you have this particular position, what nakshatra and sign it's in, check out the links here. Otherwise, all my stuff is also on this link, and we will see you tomorrow with Q&A. But remember, I'm going to put the Q&A post, but I'm going to make those questions on Odyssey, ODYSEE.com. That's where I'll do the Q&A from here on out. Okay? See you later. Bye-bye.